think my favorite costume had to be the one on the poster with the coat. Provided me with so much warmth, given the fact that I'm, an African in Europe. Uh, this level of weather we don't have in Africa, and suddenly that was a very comfortable. And every day I put that on, I was in character, meaning. And if
Excellent. You can see Dubai right behind me too. William,
Hi.
Nighttime in Dubai. Hello, hello.
nighttime in
Nighttime
Dubai.
in Dubai.
Yeah, so good evening to both of you.
Hi.
Congratulations on the
Good
film.
evening.
It's so much
Thank
fun.
Thank
you.
you.
And
Good.
it's so great to see both of you join this franchise. You both fit
Oh,
in
great, great.
absolutely perfectly.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So I
Thank
wanted
you.
to ask first though, what was the biggest joy of getting into this world, getting to these characters and filming this? Gemma, if you wanted to start.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, it was all in the script. I mean, I read the script and went, I love Polly. I mean, immediately. I thought she had some great one-liners and things to do. So I was really happy that Matthew asked me to play her. But yeah, I mean, just being part of this world, it's crazy. The Kingsman franchise obviously is a beloved and it's a very particular kind of thing. But I was really happy to be involved in this particular film because of the historical background, the fact that it's a period film as well. So there's a real elegance to it, and yeah. So I just, as you can tell, I was really happy to be involved, and I loved every minute.
Absolutely. And Djimon, for you, I think at this point, if I go to see a blockbuster film and you're not in it, something's wrong. Like you're missing.
Oh,
Like at
that's
this point, I
sweet.
mean, you've reached a point in your career when you are the first name on people's list for gigantic projects, with characters who are huge importance to those films. So I mean, how does that feel for you as an actor?
Oh, I feel it's amazing to be asked, to be wanted, and yeah, and to be part of some of those iconic franchise, because this is one of them. The way Matthew Vaughn filmed his films is quite has a particular signature to it, and I've seen the first Kingsman and thought, wow, I was quite delighted at the way he did that. I was quite surprised because I've only met Matthew as a producer at first, right? And so back then we were talking about doing something together, and took over almost, I want to say, almost 2 decades. It's unbelievable to think that I've been in the film industry for a little over, 15 years, but. Yeah, and so the idea of coming on board this was quite gratifying, and working with Matthew, obviously, it's a different approach to the work itself. I didn't realize how demanding he was to his actors and all that, and so yeah, I was quite pleased to coming on board.
Absolutely. And I think one of the joys of this film as well is the fashion, the Savile Row, very
Yes,
specific milieu. So what
of
was,
course.
for each of you, what was your favorite piece that you were out of the many costumes that you wore in the film? Which one did you most want to stick into your bag and take home with you?
I loved my Galahad with, it's a bit of a spoiler, but I love my end look. That's very kind of, Louise Brooks, the pencil skirt, very, very nipped in. And, but I loved all of my costumes, but that one particularly I thought was like really cool, very, very strong.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like my costume as well. I think my favorite costume had to be the one on the poster with the coat. Provided me with so much warmth, given the fact that I'm, an African in Europe. This level of weather we don't have in Africa, and suddenly that was a very comfortable. And every day I put that on, I was in character, meaning you know. And but also the nature of the film really sets you, you know, with the elegance of the costumes and all that. Really, the minute you put that on, you're literally in that time, you're literally in that period, especially with the colors and everything. Sort of like, you know, keeps you uppity, you know, all the time. Yeah. So the costume does really get you in that mindset of your role.
Mm. And in the ways that you both, you know, dug into this time period in order to prepare for these characters, what was the most interesting thing that you learned about, you know, people in that time, and maybe the, you know, the history of your own characters that surprised you about this specific setting?
I mean, for me, as a woman, this was before women were, you know, getting the vote. I mean, it was about around that time that, you know, the suffragettes were happening. And so it was a time where women were still very repressed and didn't have a voice. And so for me to play someone that in this household of men has such a strong voice meant that she was, you know, a really quite an exceptional person at that time, and had the ear of these really important people. And yeah, and the fact that she could break, the fact that she's able to have such a strong say in the household is just a credit to the people who employ her as well, because I think at that time, you know, it was very, very different for women to how it is now. So it was nice to play someone that was so strong and empowered at that time.
Absolutely.
I would say similarly, you know, this was a challenging time for anybody of African descent to being in the West, and to see Shola navigate and certainly being the right hand to you know, the Duke of Oxford, shows you know, how he was able to, or how important he is to the organization, and how he's able to, you know, finesse himself in that sort of like a world.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much to both of you for your time. Congratulations on the film. Can't wait for the world to see it. And take
Thank
care.
you so much. Take care.
Thank you.